Really?
Well, it was. I made the tea earlier, and then I had to warm it up.
Oh.
And then I warmed it up too much. It's my fault.
Oh, yeah.
I have no one to blame but myself.
And me, I added a minute.
And see, this is the accountability. Well, the logo is smoldering.
It is. Yeah.
All right. Before, and I have to take accountability because of who we have in third chair today. But I am going to, before that, here's the rundown. A lot to get to. There are homeless pirates marauding through the Bay Area in California. Their words, not ours. Homeless. Do we have the photo, the rundown?
There you go.
No.
Oh, great. Yeah.
I know you're thinking San Francisco, but pirates. You're better than that. Come on, let's try and build some real momentum with being an adult here today. McCarthy has been ousted as speaker, and I know what you're thinking. Does it affect you? Well, not so much beyond the fact that you spent millions of dollars to go through this dog and pony show. And more importantly, because of who we have here in the studio, we are going to do a segment, the ins and outs, the A to Z of why relationships are in decline, specifically in the West. Now, this isn't like a Tupac, Biggie, East Coast, West Coast thing. It's just the West, the Western civilization.
Yes.
Which includes Europe. I mean, I don't really know that we should.
I know.
But
it's weird.
We'll do it. We'll do it just because we feel like being generous today. So my question to you is, what do you think are the biggest issues facing people dating in 2023? What are the biggest issues that you've had to face, that you've had to overcome? Because in third chair today, when you hear this... They're here. They're on Rumble and on YouTube, on Instagram at the Fresh and Fit podcast. Mr. Fit and or Fresh, how are you, gentlemen?
What's up, man? We're happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
I'm glad to have you guys. Hopefully you're set up, because I know you're asking about the microphones and everything, because you have your own setup.
Yeah.
And then you have a notepad.
Yeah, just in case I need to write some stuff.
What are you writing down?
I'm writing down a bunch of things.
I'm going to write down.
Hold on.
I'm writing down more than you are.
I don't know who's writing notes.
Yeah.
I'm writing notes.
I'm writing notes.
Yeah. Ready?
I'm writing random
Ready?
things.
Yeah, what did you say?
I'm writing why women deserve less.
Okay. Well, this is, I just drew I drew a wiener.
Oh, my goodness. I drew a wiener, too.
So it's Myron and Walter, right?
Yeah.
Yes, for people who, but you know what? We're going to call you Mr. Fresh and Fit. That's how people know you.
That works.
There you go.
Oh, which one is
That's
which then? I mean, because
Which one's fit? Which
like
one's
to-
fresh?
Now we're both fit, right? So you can
Somewhat.
tell them more.
there you go.
You're both fit.
Yeah,
They were doing pull-ups before the show.
They were, yeah.
we're trying.
Trying.
After they signed the waiver.
I signed that thing so quick. I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you got to give all your money. It's like, oh.
No, because we've had people go in there and not know how to use the office gym. And like, I dropped this on my toe. I'm like, oh, crap. All right, so sign the waiver that says, however you hurt yourself, we don't care. Now, number 2, CEO and the whitest guy in the studio, Gerald A. How are you?
Technically true. I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, it's not technically true. It's absolutely true.
Well, the Nordic Matt over here probably is a little whiter than I am.
Your 23 and me came back reparations. That's what it said.
I don't believe in that.
It just came in with an IOU.
I'd hang on to that one.
Blonde hair, blue eyes. You are the kind of person.
Blonde hair, blue eyes, not my fault.
Right,
Okay,
yeah.
I did not.
You're the stuff of Al Sharpton's nightmares. All right.
True, but I don't like him, so that's fine.
And by the way, of course, Fresh and Fit. I might say Fit and Fresh. I know it's Fresh and Fit, but I might reverse it by accident.
It's all
I
good, man.
apologize.
It's all fine.
You guys are on Rumble, right? People can go and subscribe to your show.
Absolutely.
Which is one of the few shows you also do it live often. Yep. That's, without a net, that's pretty scary for a lot of folks. And you kind of specialize in relationships.
Yes.
Yeah. And the lack
And all the
thereof.
BS going on in the West with, intersexual dynamics, male self-improvement, the gym, getting your money on point, just being a more attractive guy in general.
Yes.
Get the truth.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, exactly. And that's in short supply these days. So I say that because Rumble, they understand it.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Pavlovsky, the CEO, he loves you guys. Every time we talk, he's like, hey, I'm like, look, Chris, I do work too. So if at any point I say that, you see this, if you're watching on YouTube, head on over to Rumble. That's the YouTube dump button. So you guys can say whatever you want.
Yep.
And then someone just hits that dump button and it'll still broadcast on Rumble.
Yeah, we do the same because it's like, oh, we're going to say something crazy. We call it the Shadow Realm.
Oh,
when they're on YouTube, like, we're going to Shadow Realm.
Yeah.
You guys got to come on over there. Rumble, man. Shout out to Rumble.
That's where you show up and techno music plays and you meet Reptile.
That's right. I was about to say, thank you very much. It's very 90s video games of you.
All right. So let's lead with this. Before we get to the homeless marauding butt pirates in California, let's get to there's a TikTok video here of an influencer. Now, some people would say, gold-digging harlot. I would never say that, though.
But that's more accurate.
That's what some people would say. Some people would call her a gold-digging whore, but I would never say...
Why is Donald Trump Janice
I'm
Rossi?
just saying, other people would say that, and I say, no, that's not nice. But then they say she is, so maybe. Here's the advice and you can expect more of this on Fresh and Fit podcast, but here's the advice that this TikToker has for women on how to enjoy dating.
Now, for the past couple of years, I've been the girl dating athletes. Let me tell you 4 simple things I did to completely change my dating lifestyle and make me love dating again. Number 1, no simple dates. That means no bar dates, no dinner dates, no coffee dates, no park dates. I need experiences. And if I'm trying to date multiple people and go on multiple dates during the week, I can't be drinking every night. I live in New York, but I was spending all of last month in Miami. And I was talking to this guy on Hinge, matched with him in New York, he lives in New York. He flew down to Miami to take me on a couple dates, and one of the dates was taking me to the Everglades, like an Everglades tour, and then we went to a 5-star dinner afterwards.
In a gator
You
pond.
might waste my time, but at least I'm gonna have a fun experience to show for it, and it was semi-worthwhile. Rule number 2.
Crazy eyes.
I'm an expensive woman. If you can't afford me, keep it pushing. Furthermore, I'm never paying for a date. I'm not gonna pay your bills, so why am I paying for dates and
fine,
making
just
you
sign the
accustomed
prenup.
to me splitting things with you? It ain't gonna happen. People tell you your standards are too high. They aren't. This is after one date. He doesn't even know my home address or apartment number. All he knows is that I told him that I like surprises and gifts. I love dating. This is why.
Well, call us back in 8 years when you go, ring, ring, eggs. Oh, they're not answering. Now, I love it. It's like, she's like, I'm an expensive date. It's like, oh, Sherry's berries. Let me take my top off. I mean,
Roses? How did that happen?
yeah, this is the advice that you're giving to young women. Look, and this is the thing, the whole self-love culture, it's shallow. Look, you're never going to find self-esteem through these shallow, let's be honest, it's objectification of men. It was semi-worthwhile because he took me somewhere nice. How did he feel about it? You know, we used to talk about, hey, Motley Crue had all these, or whoever it is, insert whoever here, you know, Mick Jagger, though he slept with David Bowie, which was weird. Probably whoever his son was won the My Dad's Cooler Than Your Dad contest in the yard, Mick Jagger. But we used to talk about, hey, well, what about the groupies, right? You're using women. We used to say it was objectification of women. What about the men? Do you think that guy just thought, oh, she's just seeing me because I'm sending her some Tiff's treats?
This kind of stuff pisses me off because she's taking advantage of the system. She's just basically using guys to have experiences at this point. And she's like, I don't want fine dining or anything. And she said 5-star. By the way, there's no 5-star. The Michelin goes up to 3 stars. You're an idiot.
And you're
just
an affected
saying.
prick.
A little bit. I'm in the wine world. I understand these things. I know but it's like I need experiences. That way, at least if I don't like the date, I've got the experience now. It's like, yeah, you're never going to find happiness, honey.
The other thing with her, which, you know, this is womanese, basically, and I translated some of it for y'all.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, basically when she says no simple dates, what she's basically saying is that I don't go out with guys that I like that much. So I need to make sure I get some kind of benefit from going out with you.
Okay.
I'm going to be able to get an experience. So this tells me also, she said, oh, I go out with guys on Hinge. That's a lie. She's going on sugar sites. She just doesn't want to admit that on TikTok and come off as a gold digging 304. Because the fact that she's dealing with guys that are willing to fly down to her, buying her roses, taking her on these extravagant experiences, 9 out of 10 times she's going to meet these guys through a sugar site. They're, you know, have more money, etc. So she's going out guaranteed with older gentlemen. She doesn't find that attractive, that she doesn't like that much, but she wants to be able to help go ahead and get gifts and get some kind of benefit. Yeah. Which, you know, a lot of girls do this. They go out with guys that they don't like that much for ulterior motives, while they have the guy that doesn't pay anything. They're smashing him, and they're making these other suckers pay for things, making them wait, extracting resources from them, and they're hoping, oh my God, I'm going to get laid at some point. But a lot of the times they don't, or they get starved for sex.
See, and he wrote all that down very quickly. I still have a woodpecker on mine.
Yes.
Oh, one other thing too. She says that she lives in New York, but she was in Miami for a month. Telltale sign, sugar baby, probably doesn't have a job, has a bunch of guys paying her bills, etc.
Yeah.
See, you were really able to unpack that, as some people say. When she said no simple dates, I just thought she didn't date retards. but Tinder makes me happy.
So
Thanks for the flowers.
There's a song by Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Yeah.
That's the extreme of it. I want experiences over love. That's crazy, right? But that's reality now.
Well, with her, it was 2 girls just want to have.
And you guys would be shocked at how common this is with, like, you know, she's not even like that hot. Like, she's pretty attractive, but like average women get these types of experiences and are able to date this way, where they're able to openly extract resources from men and not give anything in return.
And by the way, it's also self-harming, because then at a certain point they go, oh, wow, I've lived a hollow life. Look, you know, I always say that A Christmas Carol is the 5th gospel. Because Ebenezer Scrooge, and it applies, and you're thinking, oh, old English white guy, who cares? No, it applies to you. This was a rich man. By the way, he was a liberal at one point. He said, are there no prisons? Are there no poorhouses? Right? He just said, let the government take care of it. And then he realized that what mattered in life was family, was relationships, right? He was a second father to Tiny Tim. He was as good of a father as there ever was. It was a man who said, all of these things that I thought mattered, and in that case it was money, in that case it was wealth, like this woman is talking about, changed when he realized the value of family. Now, in that case, there was redemption because he was too old to have a family, but he became a father to another young man who he could help. That's where you find fulfillment and self-esteem. And look, as funny as it is, because this is a dumb person, it's also really sad, and it doesn't help anybody. Gerald, you know?
I need to ask the dumb question of what is a 304 woman?
Oh. With the old graphing calculators, or calculator in general, if you put like 304 and flip it upside down, it means hoe. So we would, it's our way of kind of staying YouTube somewhat friendly.
Well, we don't need to stay YouTube friendly. You know what, I spent, remember how expensive those graphic calculators were? They're like $250.
Dude, so expensive.
So expensive to spell boobs upside down.
The Texas Instruments.
Yes, exactly. Texas Instruments. Yeah.
Shout out to the great state of Texas.
008.
Yes.
Woman.
By the way, you know, if you
roll
called
off
tech
the tongue.
support to Texas Instruments, you got Vivek Ramaswamy.
Really?
So we're going to go back to this because we have a whole segment on Western civilization and relationships. But before that, right now, they're actually marauding homeless pirates in San Francisco. Not to be outdone by the people crapping in the streets. Because if leftism worked, hey, San Francisco would be the place to be. That brings us to this week's Golden State of Crime. All right, so this is an actual clip.
Yeah.
In a new twist, California crime. Homeless pirates. I didn't even know that was a thing.
How do you do
This
that?
is how they're describing it in the news. Homeless pirates. I mean, all pirates are homeless, technically, right? They're sort of
their boat could be
yeah. I
their
mean, they're
home.
just
I don't know.
they're just roamers, right?
They're ship
marauders.
people?
Anyway, here's the thing: they're actually pillaging boats in the Bay Area. Here's a clip.
From shipwrecks to sunken shipyards, littered in trash. This is the
didn't do
sad
sound
reality
effects.
of the Oakland estuary
is
shoreline.
ABC 7.
Boats torn up, covered in graffiti, abandoned and trashed. DeLapp says over the past few months, pirates have been attacking vessels at 5 different locations along the channel. From boats to masts, the problem is sticking out right in front of the U.S. Coast Guard island.
Oh, it's mutiny on the booty. Now, the Oakland PD, just so you know, you guys know Oakland, they only have one officer. They have one officer trained to operate the. They have a
boat.
They have a police boat.
They're surrounded by what? Well,
And one
not
officer.
surrounded.
That's like, what are you, the Canadian Navy? You don't have more to protect the waterways around the entire city. And there's actually a sentiment that they were. There's another report. A guy who's known as Captain Taylor.
They can't handle what they can't handle on land, financially and resource-wise. They can't. So they can't. There's no Oakland Navy, I'd like to.
So Taylor and his fellow captains do all they can to keep an eye on each other's boats and run off any pirates who may show up, which, in his view, has a nice ring to it.
But I'll go with. I think it sounds cool, anyway, just to say that we have pirates around here. Since the Raiders are gone, we have nothing to, get.
Still
get
holding on to
pissed
that
off
one?
about,
It's
so.
like.
So yeah, let's go with pirates then.
Can we interview someone? Can we interview if Rob Deerdeck performed fellatio on a meth phallus? Can we?
Hey, they're actually coming to it on CNN.
Oh, they're talking about it right now on CNN?
Yeah, let me
Are
see.
they? Oh, it's yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, let's bring it up.
Breaking news.
Well.
Sorry, Frank.
I want to say this.
This is real.
California is a failed society, man. The fact I used to work in law enforcement, and the fact that they have to bring in the U.S. Coast Guard to deal with that tells you how much the state is failing when they don't even have a Marine division for a police department that is right on the water.
Yeah, I know.
Common theme
Crazy.
there. You guys saw that common theme? They're all black.
What the heck, bro? Hey, no.
That's messed up, bro. Come on, dog.
No, some of them are just gay white guys.
Pumpkin spice guy in there.
Bro, come on, man. Doing us dirty, man.
What was it? I think Dave Chappelle, this was a long time ago, he had that bit where he's like, black people, you don't get to run a city anymore. Why? Detroit and Oakland, you fuck up. That's it. And now, I mean, it's every city. So
I love the guy, though, that was fighting it at the end. He's like, yeah, I'm fighting it. We're trying to help our friends out. But since the Raiders are gone, I guess it's kind of cool.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly. It's like,
Yeah, they don't
your
get
life
anything now.
revolved around the Raiders.
Yeah.
Like, this is unhealthy.
by the way, if you sent in actual Lara Croft Tomb Raider,
Yeah.
no one would even notice her in that area of town. They'd be like, what? Let's go back to the Folsom Street Fair. Find me a bearer. Now, McCarthy, everyone's talking about this. By the way, hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube because it helps with the algorithm, or on Rumble. But go over and watch on Rumble. And today with Mug Club, it's going to be a lot of fun with Mr. Fresh and or Fit. We have an intervention with Gary later on.
We do, yeah.
Everyone is talking about McCarthy being ousted as Speaker. Okay, that happened. All right. Does it affect you? Not all that much. But there are some issues at play here that I think some people have overlooked. So let me just brief you on this if you've been living under a rock or if you've been marauded by San Francisco butt pirates. And so, you're out without power. Yesterday, Matt Gaetz succeeded in his effort to get rid of Kevin McCarthy, and he's out as Speaker of the House.
On this vote, the yeas are 216. The nays are 210. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
That is, did you hear that? That is the weakest gavel sound I've ever heard. Do we have another clip? We have another clip where we enhance the audio.
Yeah, let's roll it again.
Is hereby declared vacant.
But by the way, a lot of this is kabuki theater. But do you know that actually how much this cost? This whole process cost you just the vote. $2 million.
At least.
What? Just the minutes that the vote took place, $2 million. I'm sure you could give an estimate that's higher. All the references we make available at louderwithgrider.com, just so you know, link in the description. They're going to bring in someone else. Will he be better? Probably not. Maybe a little bit. I'm not a McCarthy fan. I don't think that politicians should be your heroes. It's just everything costs so much money and very little gets done.
Absolutely. And by the way, this guy barely got in there anyway. It took like 15 votes or something like that for him to actually do it. And it was 12:30 in the morning when they finally cavilled him in. But don't worry.
I mean, they could have helped the Pirates, man.
Yes, they could have.
With that money. Yeah, they could have.
They really, you know what? That would
Your speaker is ours now. He belongs to me.
Your gavel is mine.
McCarthy was so pissed, by the way, he pulled the fire alarm on the way out. Yeah, the sign was
I thought it was an exit thing, like a button. Press here to get out.
So Matt Gaetz, and actually we do confirm that we have him on here in a little bit.
Okay, good.
So that's why we were a little bit late today. Also,
and also, just so you guys know, we're black, so we're black people.
Yeah.
It's what it is, man.
We were so late.
Sorry, man.
We refer to it as Canadian time. I was in the service industry.
True.
If you're a server out there, you're a waitress or a waiter, you know what we're talking about. Here is Gaetz, though, summing up why McCarthy was ousted.
Kevin McCarthy couldn't keep his word. He made an agreement in January regarding the way Washington would work, and he violated that agreement. We are $33 trillion in debt. We are facing $2.2 trillion annual deficits. We face a de-dollarization globally that will crush Americans, working-class Americans. Kevin McCarthy is a feature of the swamp. He has risen to power by collecting special interest money and redistributing that money in exchange for favors.
No, I want to go to you, Gerald, and I like what he's saying there. I think that McCarthy is kind of a little bit of an empty suit, but it's just like buzzword every election. Blah, blah, swamp, people, blah, 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 narrative.
Pretty much. I mean, that's why we say like it doesn't matter. This is the first time in history that this has happened, so it is kind of a historic event, obviously, by that standard. But are we going to get somebody markedly different? I don't think so. But the interesting thing being floated right now is Donald Trump.
As Speaker. Because here's one thing you need to know. Anyone can be made Speaker.
I didn't know that. I thought it had to be somebody, and that's just my ignorance on this. I had no idea. I don't know if Fresh and or Fit knew that as well. But
did you know they can pretty much make anyone Speaker?
I did not know that.
No, see?
No.
It's educational.
That's crazy.
Show.
Yeah,
Wait, even Hitler?
Well, I mean, if they had a DeLorean, probably they could bring him back.
You probably have to be a U.S. citizen. There's probably at least that, or you snuck in.
Our debt is out of control. We need to.
Oh, a second.
I